Alright, so for a second I actually thought that this was doing something wrong, but it seems to be doing the right thing. The only reason why it seemed to be doing the wrong thing was because I couldn't tell whether or not the message was being added into a new group, or whether it was it was just being left there on its own. So what I've done is that for every single message which is on its own, I've just added on my own, as you can see right there. So if we go back to here, when we add the messages, Mike has two messages, John right now has one, but the moment I add message 4, he gets two messages, and then you get on my own and on my own. And just to make this a little bit better, instead of saying on my own, I will say, we'll maybe properly phrase this. So we'll say group.message, instead of message, we'll just say from has sent you, and we will just say what they sent the person. And then we'll just put those in quotation marks. So if we do that again, you will just see right there, hey, this is message 5, whatever, message 6. So the second thing that we probably want to do is to allow the user to remove the items whenever they feel like removing the items. So what we'll do is that we will add a given. So we'll just import a div just like so, and we'll add a button here as well. So this button is just going to say dismiss, and when we click it, we are going to run this function that says this.dismiss. So now when we dismiss the item, or when we click on this dismiss button, it's just going to remove that item from our notifications array. So we'll create that function just like so, and we're going to pass in the parameter item or message or whatever you want to call it, and it will just say something along the lines of, well, we want to filter out this notification section. So we'll say let notifications is equal to this.state.notifications, and we'll run the filter method just like so. We'll say message, and we will say if this message ID is the same as the item, the message ID of the item, or the message that we passed in, then return. No, don't return it. Else we'll return the item. So we'll just return the item, and just like previously we had to, we always have to reset the state if we want things to change. So this.set state, and we will say notifications set to the new notifications that we have defined, just like so. So now what we'll do is that this works nicely for messages that are alone, but it won't work for messages that are in groups or that have multiple partners. So we'll just do the same thing here. We'll create a div, capture everything in the div, closing tags of course, and we'll say we'll create a button. So we'll just create a button, and we'll say on click, dismiss that, so this.dismiss, and this time we won't be passing the exact same thing, we'll just be passing message, and last time we didn't pass in anything, so that would have not worked. So what we'll be passing this time is group options and 0. So now if we look at it, we add a message, and we have the dismiss button. If we press dismiss, that message is gone. That's pretty cool, and likewise we just keep going and going and going, but we've got a problem. Hey, this is message 3, and nothing's, well, the reason why that happened was because first of all, we made a typo right here, and second of all, we didn't say dismiss, so it doesn't know what that title should be called. So if we try that again, Um, Mike has 2 messages now. Um, John now has 2 messages, or 2 messages from John, and a message from me and then Abraham. So what we now want to do, well, just for styling purposes, so we'll just say style, and we'll say display, we'll just set that to inline, yeah. And we're gonna replicate that here as well. So now when we do that again, I'll do it. That wasn't supposed to happen. But okay, the reason why that happened was because these are slightly different in terms of their structure. So we'll just copy that here as well. We could just give it a class name and do the thing in the CSS folder, but obviously I'm too lazy to do that. But yeah, we'll just do that. And yeah, we have messages from Mike, messages from John. And if we just want to really make this really nice, we will copy these, and we'll give Abraham and Liam their share. So from ID, we'll keep it a stat. Message ID, however, will be 7. This will be 8. And we'll change this to message 7, message 8. And when we do that, and we just keep adding the messages. Well, Mike has a message, John has a message, or 2 messages, Liam and Abraham, all of these, which is cool. But notice how it takes a lot of space, and that just really isn't nice. We want to be able to essentially just collapse these messages and then expand them whenever we feel like. So the way that we're going to do that is that we're going to create another array in our state, and that's going to be groups to expand, and we're going to define that as an empty array. So the idea is that if the message or the group, or let's just say to make things easier, the index of that group, based on the position it is in this render function. But if it's here, if it's in that array, then we will show it. If it's not in that array, then we don't show it. So what we'll do is that we will go into a render group section, and next to the header, this will only be for the grouped messages, and next to the header we'll just put button, just like so, and we will say something along the lines of expand. We may change this so that it changes when the group is expanded and when it's not, but we'll say on click. We'll just say, we'll create a function called this.toggle expand, just like so. So now we will create this function somewhere. We'll just put it here. So toggle expand, and essentially what it's going to do is it's going to return us the index. And just to make life a little bit easy, well, index just so it's a little bit easier, we can use this map function, which has 3 parameters, if I haven't already mentioned it. But the first one is index. Well, the first one is the actual item itself, the next one is the index, and the last one is the full array. So we will pass in the index into here, and we don't need that last one. Toggle expand is going to be the index. Then what we're going to do is we will just say, well, if you click the button and the item is not there, then we want to push this index into this group. So before we do anything, we'll just say let groups to expand. So to desktop state groups to expand. And we'll just say that, well, there's a really cool function called includes. So essentially it just checks whether the item is inside the array or not. So if it includes, I believe it works for strings as well, but if it includes this item, well, we're going to do that later. But for the time being, we'll say if it doesn't include the item, then we'll say groups to expand dot push this index. If it doesn't, well, if it does include that index, so here we just said array. It's not in the array, so we need to put it inside the array. But what happens? No, this is for when it's not in the array. Sorry, so it's not in the array, so we need to put it inside the array. But if it's not in the array, then we need to remove it from that array, and we can just use the filter method that we used before. So groups to expand is going to be groups to expand dot filter. We'll say item because we can call it item. And since we're just working with numbers, just integers, indexes here, we'll just say if item is not equal to index, then we return the item, else we return no, just like so. Just for consistency, I'm going to use this because I believe we used the same format before. But yeah. Then what we need to do is we need to toggle this. We'll actually make those changes evident. So we'll just say this dot set state, and we'll set the state to whatever we define it to. The groups to expand is set to groups. Groups, help me out. Groups to expand, just like so. So now let's say that the changes have been made. We need a way to actually visualize those changes. And so we're going to use a function called should expand. And it's just going to answer itself the question, should I expand? And the whole idea is that we have an index for this group. So what this group is going to do is that it's going to ask this function here, should I show all of the contents? And the way it's going to do that is by using the index. And it's going to check this array right here.